Peace and love. What up, though? What it do? What's popping? What's cracking? What's happening in time 9, time 10, time 9, time 10, again, again, and again, and again. Man, y'all know this just made my day, right? Hey, it is not outside of the realm of what we've already been discussing over here at the Alhambra Society 313 multiple times. So if you didn't know, now you know. You know, you know, you know. And you know, you know, you know. It ain't even funny, right? You know, it's hilarious, you know, as a topic when we're just discussing the fact that these two guys, and these two guys being Donald J. Trump and Elon Musk, you know, separating or whatnot. But I'm saying, I'm not gonna even say I told you so. You know, is it is what it is. This is how these people do, right? And it's, you know, reminiscent. Is that a word? Reminiscent of what I said last week concerning individuals inside of these various industry. I was actually talking about the music industry, but you know, in the realm of politics, you know, you can stick that in there, right? As far as them, you know, dragging one another and gossiping about one another and so on and so forth. Like, you should not be surprised at all at this current administration's downfalls or whatnot. Like, I want to say I told you so bad, but I'm not gonna do that because I did not verbalize it, you know, in the sense of, hey, this is hold on, Will. I'm trying to share it on a Facebook page that everybody is familiar with, because for some reason or another, like, I really don't know why they took away my access, but they did. They're not allowing me to go live on my most popular page, right? They're just not doing it. So hold up, let me hit the mute for a minute and try to share it over there again, since I cannot go live on the Fed book page or the fake book page. I mean, excuse me, the Facebook page that everybody is familiar with. You know, going on over to YouTube. That's your best bet, right? That's like your best bet, because, you know, this video that I put together actually a couple of months ago, I'm going to share it this evening. And again, if you've been rocking with me, you know this is not a new topic for me. I've been talking about Epstein and Donald J. Trump being besties for like 10 plus years before they fell out. And, you know, prior to Jeffrey Epstein's death or homicide, suicide, however you want to label it, right? Because we wasn't there. We really don't know what went down. We do know that recently it's a female, I forget her name, within their administration or whatnot, you know, she said she was going to release all of the Epstein files, and she did not. So now that Elon and Trump then fell out, Elon is bringing up the fact, well, he's making accusations that the reason that we have not been able to see all of, or they didn't release all of the Jeffrey Epstein files, is because Trump is in it. But again, if you are someone who vets information, you know, you function like a scholar should, right? You already knew all of this. And it seems to be a lot of people from our community thought that this was fake news, so to speak, when there are very reputable sources who released this information years ago, who Donald Trump could have sued. You know, he likes to sue. You know, he likes to hold everybody accountable for their actions except for himself, right? But he did not sue because, again, from NBC to CBS to People Magazine to Life Magazine, again, this has been a topic that has been ongoing for years, right? But people seem to love the Donald J. Trump so much that they don't care about his shady dealings and his shaky past. And again, Jeffrey Epstein was somebody who he was very, very cool with, as to where they both know a lot of one another's inside and outside dealings. As far as Jeff, it seems like he tried to paint Donald Trump as being the bad guy. He said that Donald Trump likes to sleep with other guys' wives, and I'm going to let him say it. If I'm not mistaken, all of this information should be in the video that's on the screen that I'm about to share with you all. Again, I made this video a couple of months back, but being that there were other things that were a bit more important than Elon and Donald and, they homeboy, who, again, we don't know if he committed suicide. We don't know if he was knocked off. We don't know what happened because we wasn't there, right? But, some of us may feel like, we can safely make assumptions about what actually happened. And again, I don't like to do that. So I'm only using what is on the record and what is available, as a scholar should, right? A scholar doesn't have to make, alleged and accusations and things like this and like that. Like, we go directly to the source, primary source, secondary sources, and so on and so forth, in order to be good journalists in this realm of fake people, right? I want to say something else, but I'm going to just say very fake people, very shaky people who don't have an interest in the people. What they have an interest is gaining a larger following and making the pesos. So they don't care what they put out there. If the algorithm says it's on and popping, that's what they will continue to regurgitate to the people, whether or not it's true or not. Again, they don't care. I'm from a completely different cloth. You can hold me accountable for what I say and what I do, because that's how adults do. That's how scholars do. Anytime, that I'm incorrect about something, I have no problem with stating that. But that's a very rare occasion, right? Very rare occasion. And I'm like very, speedily, is that a word? With speed, I shall let it be known that, hey, that ain't what it is. This is what it is. And we're going to deal with this since this is what it is. I'm not going to continue to push something that I know is false, or that I'm not 100% sure that it is a fact. And this is the very reason why it's quite a few people who don't rock with me, right? And that's fine. They're afraid of the truth. They're more comfortable with the lie. And a lot of times, many of these people know that they're pushing propaganda that is satire information. But again, they don't care, because they're in this for a check. They're in this for attention. You know what I'm saying? They say this is the attention economy. Attention don't cut me checks, right? Now, again, if I was running around saying crazy shit like Michelle Obama's a man and all kind of other crazy shit that is unfounded and not true, and it very well has a primary source, which is your neo-Nazi skinhead peoples, your KKK type peoples, right? And I'm going to keep putting this in the air once again. When you start talking about melanated women who are successful, educated, rich, and popular, and don't let them be kind of tall, you understand? This has been a Ku Klux Klan staple to call these melanated women who fit that particular description as being successful and rich and popular and whatnot. They have always called these women men, or said that they were born males. So again, when I see a portion of so-called people who are looked at as being a part of what is called a conscious community, I have to get on your ass. And I will continue to be on your ass for pushing neo-Nazi skinhead, racist satire agendas and propaganda that was created based off of the fact that there was a melanated man and a melanated family in that Oval Office. And they were very, very pissed off about it. So again, this is not new behavior for them. They've always done stuff like this. It's just, we haven't always had a melanated individual inside of that so-called White House or Oval Office, right? So I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm for real. I can promise I will not be all night long like Lionel Richie with this bill. We gonna first I'm gonna take the music off. Take it off. Cut it off. Turn it off. And we gonna get right into it. So where we at? I might have to turn because I don't know if the volume is automatically in here. This is a new tool on StreamYard. So let me find the play button. Here it is, and here we go. Hold up, let me hit the pause. Let me hit the pause. Just in case you did not see, not only the title of the bill or of this live broadcast, but the description of it. So as of right now, Trump and Elon Musk are no longer in their bromance, right? They have separated. And since they've separated right now, Elon is squealing like a pig, right? Like a little Dutch pig. He's out here squealing on Trump, making accusations as to why Trump did not release or allow the declassify, right? Something that's, to my understanding, is not classified. There's just only so much information that you're going to be able to get by way of a FOIA request, FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request on these Jeffrey Epstein files. So Elon is pissed off. He's calling a big, beautiful bill a piece of doo-doo, right? And he's going in on Trump. And Trump is like, hey, we was cool. We ain't cool no more. Elon is mad because he cut his funding to, his electrical car, whatever thingy. And again, Elon Musk, if you go back and you look at some of the videos that we've done, one of them in particular is called Elon Musk White House or something like that. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I take y'all back to Obama's first 2 terms in office and how, he cut the big checks to Elon Musk, and the big million and billion dollar checks have been have continued to be cut to Elon Musk. So when you start talking about a Tesla and X and all of that stuff was very well funded by way of the good old US of A, right? Again, Trump was promoting for Elon Musk because Elon Musk has his finger on the pulse of what we call the algorithm. Elon Musk is the very reason, in my humble opinion, that is backed by some facts, right? He's the very reason that Trump got into office, right? They rode the manosphere and all the other popular areas in which the algorithm goes into and made sure that Trump followed those agendas vocally. I don't mean physically, because my mama always told me that a lie ain't what for a what to tell. You understand? So we're going to get back to the videos, but you see the Griselle, whatever that chick name is, right here behind Donald and Jeffrey. And I looked, and again, this was some months ago. I was looking for the Entertainment Tonight footage where you can hear Donald Trump point at the young women in the crowd while he's talking to Jeffrey Epstein. And he like, look, they're young and they're hot. You know, these two guys are old enough to be the women in the room father, and in some cases grandfather, right? It's disgusting, very disgusting, to look at two old geezers drool over, you know, women as young as 18 years of age. Some of them may even be 17. We don't know. We just know that they're very young and that these two guys are very rich and think that they can do whatever they want to do and have whatever they want to have and whomever they want to have. So let's get back to the video.
So how do you know this?
That's what he's saying. He is charming. He is able to convince people. It's very much like Clinton. Both Bill and Donald have the ability to go over to a fat, ugly woman, say, you are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So he tells everybody what they want to hear. Yet, it's charming.
Here are these two guys, both driven by a need to do anything they wanted with women, dominance and submission and entertainment. And one of them ends up in the darkest prison in the country, and the other in the White House.
Just tell me about his intelligence.
With respect to real estate deals, good. He's a salesman who knows real estate really well. Anything else but that, he knows nothing. So the idea that he's that dirty business, he's a construction person in New York City, with electricians in housing. But he's not able to horrible human being. But he's not able to horrible human being. Reject his job. He does nasty things to his best friend's wives. And he first tries to gain their trust, and then he uses it.
Let me say this too. These people lie so much. Again, I was making reference to the music industry and the entertainment industry, but dealing with certain wealthy people as a whole, like they the dirtiest, backstabbingest bastards, a lot of them, that you will ever encounter. You're more likely to run into somebody who, you know, is living paycheck to paycheck, right at the poverty line, or maybe right above the poverty line, and be able to trust them more than you can trust these cats. So to sit here and listen to him drag Donald the way he's dragging Donald, I mean, in a way, you have to take it with a grain of salt, right? But we don't listen to it anyway.
A woman to what he called the Egyptian room in an Atlantic City casino. Epstein alleged he came out afterward and said, "It was great. It was great. The only thing I really like to do is blank the wives of my best friends. That is just the best." To his Trump Tower office to ask them about their sex lives and offer them sex with beauty pageant contestants.
Now, I've mentioned this before. I don't know if Donald is the president or owner of, is it the Miss America pageant or Miss USA? Put it in a thread, y'all. Put it in a chat or whatnot. It's one or the other. So again, he has access to young women, again, who are not just young enough to be his daughters. Most of them are young enough to be his granddaughters. And to me, that is just very distasteful, right? But, you know, they say money is the root of all evil, and it's not the money, because the money, you know what I'm saying, is, or the fiat currency is simply, you know, just a debit or a credit or a piece of paper. It's the individuals who pay to participate or have these heinous acts committed. So it's not the money that did anything. It is the Donald and it is the Epstein. So let's carry on.
The pedophile said. He would do this while the wives were, unbeknownst to their husbands, listening on speakerphone, so that he could then seduce the wives on the basis their husbands had betrayed them, Epstein claimed. Gordon said, "It was great. It was great. The only thing I really like to do is blank the wives of my best friends. That is just the best." To his Trump Tower office to ask them about their sex lives and offer them sex with beauty pageant contestants, the pedophile said. He would do this while the wives were, unbeknownst to their husbands, listening on speakerphone, so that he could then seduce the wives on the basis their husbands had betrayed them, Epstein claimed.
So, he made that. He used to be on the phone with fake PR person. I was sitting there listening to the guys in the post club, and I would say, he's a great guy. I love working with him. Sit there, this is just amazing. He'd say, "Michael, come on, let's go to the office." And he'd say, "Tell me, what's it like?" He'd say, "You like it?" He said, "You like it? How often do it?" He'd say, "It's great." Seriously, how often do it? We go to work. You and I can go upstairs, or tomorrow come over. There's this girl coming in from Los Angeles, part of the Hawaiian Tropic. So come over with your car. We can have a great time. I promise you, Michael, it's just me and you. You're going to have a great time. You're going to have a great time. Be up here at 3 o'clock, we can go upstairs. The whole time, your returns get on us. Set it up. Great. Come over with your car. We can have a great time. I promise you, Michael, it's just me and you. You're going to have a great time. Be up here at 3 o'clock, we can go upstairs. The whole time, your returns get on us. Set it up. Because he wants to story.
So basically, what you just heard by way of Jeffrey Epstein. Where is the all right, there we go. What he's describing is he says that Donald Trump will call one of his rich homeboys over, right? And he'll be telling them like, I got these girls or whatnot. And first he'll question them about their wives, like, how often are you intimate with your wife? And, how is it in this, that, and the third? The whole time Donald has the guy's wife on speakerphone, right? So the wife is hearing the whole conversation. So Donald is setting it up so that he can be intimate with his homeboy's wife. And according to Jeffrey Epstein, he's done this multiple times with other guys and their wives, setting them up, right? So that he can get into bed with their wife. Just a dirty bastard, you know what I'm saying? On top of the fact that he is on those flight logs, and I'm talking about Donald J. Trump is on the flight logs for going to Jeffrey Epstein's, however you say his name, island and kicking it with him, And most people who are Donald Trump fans or voters will merely say that, well, Donald Trump, was doing business with Jeffrey Epstein, right? But that's not what Jeffrey said. Now, how true it is or not, who's to say? But it is a hell of an accusation, right? And currently you have Elon Musk making these statements, and it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better, right? But both of these guys are what y'all call grifters and traitors anyway, because this is not hearsay as far as Elon Musk and Donald Trump originally being Democratic supporters, right? This is on record. Donald Trump was a supporter of the Democratic Party. just like Elon Musk was originally a supporter of the Democratic Party to the tune of getting millions of dollars, getting Barack Obama to cut millions of dollars of checks. Now, the exact amounts I have shared in past videos and YouTube shorts and so on and so forth. So, if you want the exact numbers of how much money Elon Musk has milked the United States of America for, all you got to do is go back and look at the videos because I've done several of them, right? Donald Trump calling Elon Musk a patriot. He's a patriot. How the fuck is Elon Musk a patriot again when he absconded, right? He fled his own country in South Africa, in order to avoid registering for their military draft, right? He did not. He fled, took his butt up to Canada with his mammy, right? He attended one of the universities up in Canada for a nice little minute. Then he brought his butt down here and attended Stanford University. That's in California, right, y'all? Correct me if I'm wrong. I talked about this multiple times over the years to show how dirty this guy was. And he showed us all how dirty he was by teaming up with Trump in the first place. Because again, he was on Obama team, right? This is stuff that you can find. This is stuff that, again, I have displayed multiple times. Elon Musk was pretending like he was Barack Obama's best friend, right? And, all of the money that he received from the US of A while Barack Obama was in office, allegedly he paid all of that money back. But again, he has gotten it's like $38 billion to date out of the United States of America, which means out of your pockets. You get registered voter people, you know what I'm saying? Us good tax paying people. So now it is cutthroat time. You're going to see both of them going at each other's throats. Not to mention the fact that Elon Musk's son sat in the Oval Office with Elon and Trump. And the baby name is X. I think Elon Musk's son name is X. And he told Donald to shut up. You're not the president. And he said some other little slick stuff. This is a baby saying this stuff. So babies repeat what they have heard adults say. So what adult did X here dragging Trump like that? I would put money on the fact that it was his daddy. You know what I'm saying? He's repeating what he heard his dad say about Trump. Like, he not the president, I'm the president, right? And the fact that Trump created a department, Doge, that department didn't exist prior to Trump creating it to give Elon Musk a position of authority in order to look into all of their business. So this man, this South African, again, who is no patriot by no measure of any damn thing, because in order to be a patriot, it means that you stand with your country. This is not his country. His country of nativity is South Africa, although that's not his ethnicity. Am I saying that word right? Ethnicity. His ethnic background or his pedigree would be that of a Dutch, right? Of a colonist invader, not of a South African stock at all. Unless we're going to start talking about Cyprio Africanus and things like this and that in Rome and blah, blah, blah. But that ain't what we're talking about. We're talking about the things that are taking place right here, right now. Which, to me, like I said, when I heard this on the news multiple times, I laughed my ass off because it was to be expected. When you have two traitorous, greedy bastards like a Elon Musk and a Donald Trump, what else do you expect? Some people are just incompetent, right? Very incompetent. You're talking about people who, when they do wrong, right, they don't have the ability to be accountable for their mistakes. So what they will do is continue to tell more lies and more lies in order to mask their BS that they've done. And this goes for Musk and for Trump, right? Neither one of them, you had no business supporting or promoting or voting or cheerleading for either guy. But now y'all are seeing what it is. You're seeing it is that you got exactly what you voted for, right? For a pack of lies made by a pack of demons who were never on your team in the first place. So again, it was very foolish. And at this time, you have, various people from our community who will continue to lie and post things like, oh, look at the stock market. That's because of Trump. Look at this. First of all, when we start talking about tariffs, it let me know that y'all don't be studying or vetting no fucking information and y'all don't research shit, because it was Biden who put the 100% tariffs on China. Okay? So when Donald came in and added the 45%, which took it to 145% and currently knocked it back down to 100%, he wasn't the motherfucker who put the 100% tariffs on China. Again, that was Biden. That was the other devil, right? Which shows you that all of these people are in cahoots together until they're not, right? But based off of the fact that these people aren't just in cahoots together, these people are a bloodline. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This guy, Donald Trump, promised to put Hillary Rodham Clinton in the clink clink. He said he was sending her straight to prison. Did he do it? Did he send Hillary Rodham Clinton to prison? No, he did not. And you want to know why? Go Google the fact that Donald and Hillary are cousins, right? Donald Trump also said that he was going to build this wall, right? And he was going to make Mexico pay for the wall. And I ask you, did he do it? No, did Mexico pay for the wall? And first of all, the wall makes no sense. When you're dealing with people who are building tunnels, what is a wall going to do when they building tunnels? As soon as you think about these tunnels that they built, you think of El Chapo, as if he was the only individual utilizing those tunnels in order to not just break out of prison, but to transport people, this human trafficking that they've been doing for decades, from over there to over here, from down there in Central America up here into North America. Those tunnels have been used multiple times over and over and over. So I ask you again, what is a wall going to do? And the fact that he reneged on building a wall and he reneged on having Mexico pay, it's just too much, y'all. Too much. There's no way that we should still be wanting to do business with this entity known as United States Inc. in their subsidiaries, whether it's local, state, whether it's the judicial branch, the legislative branch, or the executive branch. These people have yet to balance the books and cut the checks, especially when we're talking about the Fed in the States. Again, I don't know what city in particular that it was. Yesterday, I was reading the newspaper, right? Matter of fact, I went yesterday because I was busy as hell yesterday. But again, another city has dealt with their citizens and come to the decision that they are going to distribute reparations. You have multiple cities who are issuing reparations, but you don't have multiple states. And the federal government is still sitting on their ass and ignoring the restitution, compensation, and reparations that are owed to our people. They are refusing to, again, balance the books by way of cutting the checks. And being that we all know this, why would you run out and vote for any of them? It don't take a genius to figure this out. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure this equation out. Especially, and let me put another one of Donald Trump's famous backsliding ass lies on y'all. During his first term in office, he said that cryptocurrency was a fraud, and he was going to do everything in his power to stop the flow of the cryptocurrency. And I ask you, did he do it? No. He didn't double down on the shit. What he did is he stuck his hand in the cookie jar, and now he got his own cryptocurrency. If that ain't a demon for your ass, I don't know what is. Ray Charles can see this. Stevie Wonder very well sees it. So what's wrong, you know what I'm saying, with this percentage, 8% or 10% of our people who are hugging Trump nuts? And again, like I always say, even if it was Biden or the East-West Indian by the name of Kamala Harris who got into that Oval Office, which we know that wasn't going to happen because, again, she's not a part of that bloodline. But had it happened, I would be dragging them just the same. I don't care who you put in there. If they're sitting in that office and they are not actively balancing the books by way of cutting the checks, right, then it's drag on time. I don't have no sympathy for none of these people because they very well, they lack empathy when it comes to us, right? All of this, we're going to talk about welfare, and as if welfare has been beneficial to us as a people. It has not. And they have always been the beneficiary of these programs. Even certain legislation that was put into place specifically for us as a people always end up being for minorities as a whole, right? So when you start talking about minorities, you're talking about women, you understand? You're talking about, excuse the term, because I didn't coin it, but Hispanics and so on and so forth. Again, which lets you know that it wasn't for you. It wasn't created. It may have been created with the intentions of giving us some type of restitution. But when it boils down to it and the ink dries, it's about the freaking body else. So we end up getting the short end of the stick, right? Because we keep putting ourselves in a trick bag. I'm not in the trick bag with y'all. Y'all can have that shit. I see clearly what's going on because I've been watching the same smoke screen go on since I could remember. Again, since Reagan. Hell, since Carter. And it's continued. And people will switch sides. Well, I don't like the Democrats because they did this, so I'm going to rock with the Republicans. Well, I don't like the Republicans because they did that, so I'm going to rock with the Democrats. Well, I don't like neither one of them, so I'm going to rock with the independents. But I ask you, when is the last time that a president ran as an independent and ended up winning the popular and electoral vote? See that silence? So I answer it for you. Never, not in my lifetime. We have not had one candidate run as an independent and actually win anything. Ever. So I don't know what to tell y'all, but I do know I would like to see that video one more time before we get up out this piece. Let's see if I can do it. It might let me do it. Where is that? I don't see it. I don't see it. But I know it's here, so we're going to find it. How about that? Where is that? That ain't it. That ain't it. That look like it's it, but it ain't it. What is that? We know what that is. Video.
Well, Tory Lanez says that he does not.
And I was wrong because that is Tory Lanez, and that ain't what we're looking for. That's Eddie. Here we go. No.
Every day. Hit women.
No, that ain't it either. What's going on? Bandicam. This it right here. So, I open it in the output folder. Yeah, so let's see if I could drag it over here right quick. Boom, boom. It might let me do it. Let's see. Oh, that ain't it, buddy. I wonder why I do that. That ain't what's popping. I'm gonna try it one more time. Boom. I might be able to drag it over there. Let's see. Nope, it ain't let me do it like that. Let's try it like this. Like this and like that. I'm gonna move along. No. Alright, it ain't gonna let me do it like that. So we'll do it like this. Take that down. Do it like this. Over here. There it go. And we have lights, camera, action. Take me down. And press play. Let's press play. So you see his little girlfriend that got 20 years in the background. She's doing 20 years, right? He's dead, and Donald was in the White House. It don't take a scholar to figure it out, right? Again, she got 20 years. What's her name? I can't remember that woman's name. He dead, and Donald Trump is in the White House. But you can see them all in the same clique right here. Mr. Comb Over still got the swirl comb over, right? And he did you trust this motherfucker? I don't. I'm not. Let's go back to the video. Let's go back to the video.
So how do you know this?
That's what he's saying. He is charming. He is able to convince people. It's very much like Clinton. Both Bill and Donald have the ability to go over to a fat, ugly woman, say, "You are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." So he tells everybody what they want to hear. Not everyone's charming.
Here are these two guys, both driven by a need to do anything they wanted with women, dominance and submission and entertainment. And one of them ends up in the darkest prison in the country, and the other in the White House.
Just tell me about his intelligence.
With respect to real estate deals, good. Anything
So
else?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
He knows nothing. So the idea that he's that dirty business, he's a construction person in New York City, the electrician in county. There's not even horrible human being. There's not even horrible human being. Reject his job. He does nasty things to his best friend's wives. anyone who first tries to gain your trust and then loses it to bad things.
A woman to what he called the Egyptian room in an Atlantic City casino. Epstein alleged he came out afterward and said, "It was great. It was great. The only thing I really like to do is blank the wives of my best friends. That is just the best." To his Trump Tower office to
Again, Ghislaine Maxwell in the background. She got 20 years. Jeffrey Epstein is dead, and Donald Trump is in the White House due to or with the help of Elon Musk, right? Right now, him and Elon Musk have broken off their bromance and are throwing dirt at one another. But again, the dirt is old and stale dirt. These are things that if you didn't know, I don't know what rock you've been living up under. Or maybe it's because, you just like this guy so much. You admire his business dealings that brought him all of this wealth that he has. While he, was shitting on other people in order to get to where he is, including his homeboy, Jeffrey Epstein. He's not exempt to Donald's mudslinging, right? Donald would like to try and deny his bromance or his former bromance with Jeffrey Epstein. And as far as I'm concerned, he helped Epstein avoid legal measures or stopped him from going to prison, right? And eventually, once they weren't able to mask the amount of filth that Jeffrey Epstein participated in, Trump helped to take him down. In return for, his promises and his bromance with Elon Musk, he ends up getting back in the White House. I just can't believe people were so fucking dumb. And I'm talking about us, right? It doesn't surprise me that Donald Trump will be supported by such militias like the Proud Boys and the Oath Taker Fakers and the QAnon and the KKK and the neo-Nazi skinheads. Like, they rep nothing but Donald Trump. You can try to suggest to me, which I'm not saying this is not a fact. I'm not stupid. I know that the Democratic Party was the original party of the Ku Klux Klan. But right now, the Ku Klux Klan and the neo-Nazi skinheads sit on both sides. They're in the left wing and the right wing. They are highway patrolmen. They are FBI agents. They are CIA agents. They are local and state police officers, if that's what you want to call it. They are appointed and elected officials right now. So miss me with that shit about, that the KKK is the Democratic Party. If you don't get your dumb ass on somewhere, you talking about once upon a time, and the reason that they solely align themselves with the Democratic Party was because you're talking about post-Civil War, right? You're talking about a time where the Republican Party was being ran, for the most part, in the South, was being ran and controlled by melanated people, right? And what they did, what these neo-Nazi skinhead KKK militias did, is they destroyed all of that, right? And once they got us up out of those seats in the Congress, right, mainly, and somewhat Senate as well, but not in the Oval Office. Once they did all the killing that they can do, right? Once they burned down as many melanated towns as they possibly could, and stole everything with the help of the federal government, not just the state governments where this happened at or the local officials, but again, the federal government helped them with these red summers and redlining and so on and so forth, the vagrancy laws and the Jim Crow and all of that. So they did that on both sides, on the Democratic side and the Republican side. So stop it with the fuck ass straw man arguments and the moving of the goalposts, because that only works when you're talking to somebody who don't know no fucking better. I know better. Right, so I'm done with this. There's really no more to say about this topic. Y'all can have fun with it, and you know, if you're gonna continue to cheerlead for Trump, you know, I don't know. It is beyond cognitive dissonance, as you all would like to say. This is Oreo shit. Melanated on the outside, but white as hell on the inside. It would be different if he was just standing there with Jeffrey Epstein, but look, his girl is in the back. You see her. You see her. Let me go back a little bit. I see her. Shit. What a play by that. See it. $20 She got 20 years. Not 5, not 10, not 15. She got a dub. I don't see her trying to off herself. We don't know. Maybe she have tried to off herself, but she got a dub. And Donald Trump is in the White House. I'm just saying. Put 2 and 2 together. Stop being gullible. Because ain't none of these people on your team at all. And the people who are spitting this satire information and misleading you intentionally or misleading you because they dumb as fuck, either or way. You know, I have been delegated to tell you the truth and stand on truth, right? Stand on truth. Not the fake stuff, the real stuff. And these people, they steal all of our shit. They talking about the woke people are bad and the fake news. Like, come on, y'all. This is stuff we've been saying for decades. They only here to fulfill their own agendas, not yours. So waiting for something spectacular to come out of that Oval Office in favor of our people, you will turn into a zombie before that happens. With the measures that you're taking, thinking that it's going to happen because you voted for the Republicans over the Democrats. When these people, again, they are a bloodline. They are connected by way of blood. That's just like you having a cousin that play for the Chicago Bulls and you have a cousin who plays for the New York Knicks. Yeah, when they in there in the game versus one another, one is gonna win over the other. But when that game is over with, they both are gonna get paid. You'll remain a spectator and a fucking cheerleader. And it's no different in the realm of politics. It's the same game. So have fun with that. I'll catch up with y'all tomorrow. Peace.